Hello everyone, it's Professor Fernandez here. I am doing a quick video here to show you a little bit about how to maneuver through D2L. I know that we are at the end of week 3, about to go into week 4, so we're 3 weeks into the semester. I am no longer going to reply to information or emails on how to work something in D2L. There's plenty of resources for you to be able to work D2L and try to find things in D2L. You'll have this video, of course. You'll have VLAC, which is the Virtual Assistant Learning Center, and I'll show you how to get there. And then you also have the library or the Learning Commons, which actually helps as well. So let me get started here. I'm gonna take this into a student view so we see the exact same things. Also, this is the same for all of my classes. I know that it says 1301, 2860, but it's the same for my other English classes as well. You guys have the exact same course. I download or upload the exact same material. So essentially you guys are in one big class with 3 sections is kind of how I'm looking at it. Okay. So let's look at this interface here. One thing that I think is kind of neat that you see have 5 unread discussion posts. I usually think it's the professor, but it's no, you guys actually get this view, which means that people have responded to discussion posts. You should probably click on that to see if people have responded to yours specifically, which would be great. Then you have the one quiz is not attempted, which means you have a quiz to take this week. You also have 130 emails, or I have 130 emails. It's okay. I've answered them all. I don't know why it says 130. I do not have 130 emails to answer, but that's fine. So it'll tell you if you have any emails here, and then you'll have a pop-up here when there'll be a red dot right next to it, just like how right here, there's a dot here. There'll be a red dot next to it that says, oh, you have an email. This bell is an alert, and it alerts you to see if there's anything that's coming up. So this is actually my 1302. Again, I'm the teacher, so I get a bunch of views. I'm technically enrolled in quotations in 1302 as well. So I know I have a couple of things coming up that are due, right? So that just alerts me, and that's just another way to help. On the right hand side, you have this calendar, and you're probably going to think, oh, this calendar is useful. This calendar is trash. Do not use this calendar at all. Like literally just pretend it's not even there. Just use this little caret so it looks like this. Just use this little caret here, this little triangle, click that, and dump it out of your mind, because what this does is give you a false sense of security of you actually turning in everything that you need to turn in. And that is not the case, because some things just don't show up on the calendar. I don't even know why this is here, and I wish we can get rid of it, but we cannot. Trust me, I have tried. So just don't even look at it. It's more confusing than anything else. All right, so you are going to be in content and grades for the most part. Very rarely will you go anywhere else, okay? So you'll go to these two. Support is an important thing to click. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and I'm going to show you what you get when you get support. Support goes to the Virtual Assistant Learning Center, Virtual Learning Assistant Center, the VLAC. And what VLAC is, it has all these things here on the left hand side, very similar ironically to D2L. And so all these folders have little things, like if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm having trouble with Pulse, what do I do? You click, you go to troubleshooting, and it gives you information on what to do. If you're new to online learning, and most of you are, it gives you some tips here, how to start your semester. So all this is here. How to contact your instructor, there you go. You also have, by the way, you also have a video on how to email your instructor and do appropriate emails. If you have not seen it, please go and see. Okay, so Be Like is super important. So if there's something that you need, this is one resource for you. So let's go back. And so let's go to content here. Content. And content is where you will live. It is all the life that you need, essentially. So here's what you have. You have the syllabus. And if you haven't read the syllabus, I know you took a quiz on it, but if you haven't fully read it, you probably want to read it. It's got great information. And I'll click on it. Let's talk about the information the syllabus has, other than my email and, of course, information on office hours, right? And again, office hours are Monday through Thursday from 1:30 to 5 p.m. by appointment. So you go and you have the office hours. You have kind of what we're goal is, what the books are, blah, 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 all this wonderful stuff you should already know by now. It gives you a list of weekends where I'm absolutely positively not available. So you're going to want to see me before. But this is important as well. All your essays are major grades. And so all your major grades or major assignments have to be turned in order to pass the class. So it doesn't matter if you have a B at the end of the class and you're missing an essay, you don't pass. So you have to turn in all your essays in order to be able to pass the course. Nice. So, yay, I retain the right to withdraw a student if 4 assignments are uncompleted, but doesn't mean that I will. So you may want to, do your work. So here's what I want to show you. Here's another resource. It's in the syllabus. Everything's in the syllabus. So you have the Learning Commons, which is the library, but we call it the Learning Commons because it's the library plus. So the library on steroids, essentially. So you have research and citation help. So when we get to research and citations, which will be in the coming weeks, you have help here. You can actually go to this website here to get that help. If you need some tutoring, say you still need some help on subject-verb agreement, here's where you go for tutoring, and they will help you here. Office apps and D2L help if you still don't understand how to work D2L, or you want to download Word or any of the Microsoft things that you have access to for free, by the way. Do not buy Word. You have it for free. Then this is where you go. And if you need to make an appointment for any reason, for tutoring or whatnot, this is where you go as well. So you have those resources. So I've pointed out 3 resources for you for D2L. Let's go back into content here. Okay, so you have all this, and then you have course policies, which is part of your syllabus, but I took them out so you know kind of how the class works. And then you have something called when your papers are due. I get a lot of questions about when are this due? When is this due? So you have a couple of ways to know when things are due. You have the syllabus, and the syllabus will give you the big picture. It gives you the papers and the research logs. It won't tell you when discussion boards are due or the smaller assignments. Those are in the checklist that I'll share with you here in a minute. But this will show you when your papers are due and your research logs. And those are big things. And so here you have an actual image of when things are due. There you go. You also have this exact same image under course activities and assignments. It'll show you all the things. So let's open that up. And there you go. The exact same amount, exact same thing that happens. There you go. All right. So you also have here where you go into course activities, you have quizzes. And I'm going to advise you to not quite click on these yet. It used to look like a hot mess. Because there was a lot of quizzes in here. I have deleted them and I'm bringing in quizzes as we're using them. So don't think that these are all the quizzes we're doing for the semester. It is not. There are more quizzes to be had. As I'm bringing in modules, and I'm bringing them in like by 2-week chunks, essentially, you'll see more quizzes pop up. Okay, so stay tuned. Let's go back to content. All right. So now we got that out of our system. You have office hours, and it gives you information on office hours. And I give you, of course, all these resources on time management. This is actually not an up-to-date list. I actually have a list that's longer than this and better organized than this, and that I'm actually bringing in here in the next week or two. Actually in the next week as I finish your next module, which I believe is week 5. You guys are about to start week 4. I try to stay a module or 2 ahead of you guys. Okay. Now, here's all the stuff that you need to know. This is a resource for you. So you should probably go into this and pop through that information on Inquisitive. If something doesn't work on Inquisitive, I am not the person to ask. You go to the help desk for Inquisitive. You click on Inquisitive help desk and they will help you. I am not the person to ask if something isn't quite right in Inquisitive. You can ask me all you want, but I'm going to say go to the help desk, and that's where it is. So again, I want to show you that everything's on the left-hand side. So everything's here. Even the podcast episodes are here. So I know that right now you've listened to episode 1. I believe you've listened to episode 1 and 2. I don't remember, but maybe you've done and you just want to keep going. It's just so engrossing, and that's perfectly fine because it is. You can just keep listening. So when it comes to Inquisitive and it comes to the Serial Podcast, you can keep going. You don't have to stay with the class. You can keep going, and that's actually maybe better for you in the long run. So you may be able to listen to episodes 1 through 4 right now because you have the time, where you might not have the time next week, and that's perfectly fine. The entire podcast is written in these transcripts, so you can actually read along with it. I did not write these transcripts. Someone else wrote this transcript, so there may be a word or 2 missing here and there, but for the most part, if you wanted to say go back to an episode and you're like, oh my gosh, this one time where Sarah Koenig mentioned this one thing and I forgot where it was, I think it was in episode 2, you can actually click on this, go to episode 2 and highlight it if you need to. So that's all here for you. See all these resources that are here? Let's go into a module, and we're currently at the end of week 3, so I'll start with week 3. So I want to point out a couple of things. These are a couple design flaws in D2L. So, and these design flaws have led to lots of confusion. So I'm going to point them out because it's super important. So when you click on week 3 and you look on the right-hand side, I want you to read the introduction. It's important to read the introduction because that tells you what to expect, right? But also you have an overview of the module. And I'm going to say this again. It's an overview just to see what's in here. It doesn't mean that you stay with this module in this way. All right? Because there are some things that don't show up. Like, for instance, the response and reflective essay, this doesn't show up unless you click on it here. But if you actually go into the actual module, you'll see the whole thing. So this is just an overview to see what's in there, right? What you want to do is, once you look at the overview, you want to click on the individual things. You see how you have week 3 here and it's all the way to the left, and these are indented a little bit to the right. That means that these things are inside the module. So the module is week 3, and these are folders inside of week 3. So when I say it's in the module, I literally mean it's in the module, guys. So let's start with starting the case, and you have all this information here, and it's a lot more in depth and has a lot more information that you need to read in order to get what you need. So a lot of the questions that I'm getting are actually in the module, but it looks like you guys aren't actually going in the module. You're staying in the overview. So you're missing out on a lot. So you have the response essay stuff as well. So this is a lesson on the response essay, your subject verb agreement. Take 2 quizzes here. And I want you to also to notice that there are dates here. So it tells you when it starts and then when it closes. So it closes at the end of the module on the 14th at 9 a.m. Today the 13th? Yes. So it closes tomorrow. Okay. Just wanted to double check. And so you have your lessons. See that this lesson didn't really, it came up in the preview, but it didn't really do what it needed to do. And that's the best way I can describe it on a Sunday morning. So you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to go inside of the module and you want to click on each one of these things. And how this works with the checklist, let's open up the checklist, and there's a checklist for every single module. So don't ask me what you have to do for the module. It's on the checklist. See, week 3 checklist. Oh my gosh, this is what you have to do. So you literally can go by this checklist and it goes literally by what's in the module. So you go to module week 3, and this is just a shortcut to get to things here. Week 3. All right. So the first thing on there is listen to episode 1 of Serial. Okay. So I'm going to click starting the case. It's the first thing there. And it's episode 1 of Serial. Okay. I'm going to listen to it. Click done. Next one. I need to do the lesson. How to do keyword searches. How to do a keyword search. Could that be it? It's the next thing in the module. And oh my God, there it is. How to do keyword searches. Bam. All right. So then the next thing, discussion board. How do you know if it's real? I've got to do a discussion board. So where is that? Where it says discussion board. How do I know if it's real? Oh, okay. So you see how this ties, how the checklist ties to the module. Okay. So a lot of the questions I'm getting is, I don't know where the discussion board is. I don't know where the keyword search lesson is. It's here. It's inside the module. Right. So I hope this is helpful, that you're able to understand where things are. Of course, do your weekly check-in, because that's important. That's how I know. This is how I knew that you guys weren't looking in the module and were just looking at the preview, because the answers to almost every question was in the module. So go ahead and do the end of week check-in, because that lets me know how you guys are doing. If there's anything that's interesting, not interesting, if there's anything that's not well designed, I could probably fix that design for future classes and fix that design flaw, if I can, for future modules. So that actually helps as well. So I hope this was helpful, and have a good rest of your week and a good module.